We shall be so happy once you get here. My heart beats in wild rapture for you, my Andrew. I love you. Come prepared to stay forever.
Hi, I'm Amalia Howard, playwright and actor, and I would like to invite you to join us with South Bank Theater Company for the unbelievably true tale of Indiana's first serial killer, Belle Gunnis. April 23rd to May 3rd at Shelton Auditorium, you can come out to the true crime dark comedy Hell's Bell. Go to butlerartscenter.org and search Bell for tickets.
Now we're recording.
All right, you want to hear something funny? Okay, so this is called The Phantom of the Prop Table. A small town production of The Diary of Anne Frank had a very emotional closing night until the final scene. Anne's diary was missing. The stage manager had accidentally packed it up into the concessions box during the intermission cleanup. So when Anne reached for her diary for the final monologue,
a bag of popcorn, please.
She grabbed a nacho tray.
It's better than grabbing a mouse that ate it.
Yes. The actress had to improvise the emotional farewell speech while holding a paper boat of tortilla chips. The audience thought it was symbolic, to say the least. During a production of Romeo and Juliet, a volunteer prop person accidentally brought in actual sharpened fencing blades instead of the dull stage props. The fight choreographer didn't realize it until the sparks were flying. Literal sparks. Rehearsal stopped when he yelled, "Why is this weaponed?"
Was that turned into a murder mystery?
Pretty much, yeah. A production of A Streetcar Named Desire, a 54-year-old director cast himself as Stanley opposite of the 23-year-old Blanche. He rewrote the blocking quite often to include more raw physicality. During a rehearsal, he explained, "Let's explore tension," to the stage manager, who audibly said no. Half the cast quit the mid-run, and the board had to intervene. Community Facebook pages went nuclear. The small-town theater became a blood sport. All right, final one. A dramatic production of Steel Magnolias reached its most heartbreaking funeral scene. Dead silence, tears in the audience. And then out of nowhere, the Bluetooth speaker auto-connected to the sound tech's phones, blasting... Close.
It wasn't watching porn?
Shots. The tech person forgot to turn off Spotify pre-show. No one could find the pause button. The funeral scene quickly became a club remix. They ended with a standing ovation either way.
Well, one more before we start.
Please.
What did the pirate say when he turned 80? Aye, matey. And let's start the recording now.
Dark Discoveries is a podcast that dives deep into the darkest corners of history, mystery, and the downright bizarre. We discuss real events that may include graphic detail, adult themes, strong language, not suitable for all ages. Listener discretion is strongly advised.
We're here to inform, entertain, and maybe make you laugh nervously in public, but never to glorify criminals or make light of victims. Our research is thorough, but hey, we're not perfect.
We don't claim to be historians, so if we get something slightly off, blame Dustin. All opinions are our own, and sometimes even those are questionable. Welcome back to Dark Discoveries. We hope you enjoyed that little intro we gave. We were trying to... Dustin's so mad at us right now.
Sorry, Dustin. I'm Jackie. I was just having fun.
So let's go
Jimbo.
and kick this to your episode because my episode was serious.
Well, we're trying to be serious right now.
Yeah, but we just-
That sounded like a terrible community theater accident.
Well, we just had this horrible thing at the beginning of the episode that's going to scare everybody off, and I can't do my episode now. I'm going.
Are you
to
throwing
my,
a fit?
I'm going to my dressing room.
You prima donna.
He is a podcast pouty face.
He
I am.
is.
We could kick off the poop cruise like that. We can't poop. We can't kick off serious topics. Like
Okay,
that.
so what is your topic?
How do we know it's serious? You haven't given us the topic.
I'm gonna pass. So I'm gonna pass it to Jimbo. I'm audibling.
Sorry.
You know, like football when you're playing and you lateral. You know, you're audible. You lateral to somebody and you.
I just went straight
change
to the bench,
play.
buddy. You're up.
Audible is an app that you can listen to books on.
Trust me, Jimbo's like, do real research and read this book. So I did Audible and I had to like cancel every a free trial for every freaking
Yeah.
H.H. Holmes book we did. Right?
email I have.
I freaking love Audible, though. I listen to books all day.
Hey, you can listen to Dark Discoveries on Audible.
Yeah, you can. It's good.
Ooh, Spotify. And now
Apple.
YouTube.
I'm not on YouTube yet. No, it's just you
your
boys.
voices. Your voices. We're
Is it?
Our,
No, all of our episodes are on
I'm
YouTube
so
now.
excited.
If we were
Okay.
monetized, I think the first 8 of the 8 episodes that Jimbo uploaded
Yeah.
would be copyright struck.
Sweet.
No,
That's good.
no, there's only one that's really.
No. There's like anytime you played music or like a news article, copyright strike. You can go on to
No,
YouTube.
if you read it, it says this does not count as a copyright strike.
because we're not monetized. If you were monetized, it would be a
ain't gonna be
copyright strike. And we'd
monetized.
already be kicked off Facebook before we even.
Facebook, we
make
ain't even
some
on
money.
Facebook.
Or YouTube,
Let's
whatever.
Make some money.
All right, Dustin.
What you
I
got?
guess we're gonna freestyle it because
Why are you talking balls, dude?
I can't do my topic. It's a serious
Do you want me to do
topic.
your title? Give it here. What is it? I'll read your notes.
Nope, I'm not gonna tell you.
Boy.
This just turned into
What
a
is
round.
that?
Now,
Our Gus.
now the audience sees what we deal with every
Every
day.
day.
This turns into a
Yeah.
round table.
Now it's going to turn on a beat up on Dustin topic.
Well,
Fine. If Dustin doesn't want to, then I will jump in.
please.
I
what you
have
got,
to.
baby?
I am trying to be a serious podcaster.
And you think we were bad this time? Wait till you go to record that one. It's going to go off the walls. But okay, so
Then I
I'll
won't
start.
record it tonight.
Shut the laptop on me. That's all right, Dustin. We will talk about
Hey Jimbo,
Charles Goodyear and the divine delusion.
let's talk about the Mount Rushmore hot dogs and how Costco's is not at the top of that food chain.
Well, then you would be wrong because it's the only one on the Mount Rushmore of hot dogs.
Okay, wait a minute. What do you mean by Mount Rushmore hot dogs?
Like top 4 hot dogs ever. And
Okay, what are they?
Costco hot dog, $1.50 for a dog and a drink. They can't beat that.
it's the value it gets it. But I don't
Exactly.
think it goes off a taste.
It's a gold
I
medal.
gotta say, it's not the taste for me.
It's the money.
Well, that's great. You know, like I
Is it
do
the
like
length?
a good value. Well,
Is the bun to
if
meat
you must
ratio
know.
good?
So,
Yes.
yeah.
I'll tell you what, I kind of, going against my July 4th episode on hot dogs, I'm kind of starting to like Nathan's hot dogs. I'm not going to buy them and cook them, but Walmart, when you're shopping and you're hungry, they already have them wrapped up under the heating lamp. They're not bad.
I've
Under
never,
the
s-
heating
I've never
lamp?
seen a hot dog at Walmart wrapped up under the heating lamp.
Yeah. Oh, let's go. Next time I come visit you, let's go to Walmart.
There is none at my Walmart.
We'll come to Lafayette.
Well, that's because where all the weird people live. I mean, at my Walmart, you can get the bag of chicken or whatever,
Yeah.
the rotisserie
Rotisserie.
chicken. Is that what's at yours?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what he's talking
I was gonna say
about.
we've got a deli, but I don't think we've got hot dogs.
Right.
Yeah, it's got hot dogs, chimichangas.
Well, we are just missing out. Yeah.
They've got like cheese filled.
Well, it's like our friends down in Texas get tacos at their Dairy Queen, and we don't.
They get like cheese
Outrage.
filled.
Churros?
No, they are cheese filled tater tots, like big tater tots.
Well, that sounds just like a Thornton's gas station where I'm from.
But it's Walmart. I'll tell you what, though, I did stop at Circle K, and I thought I got 2 little tornadoes or whatever with
Tornadoes.
pepperoni. One of them was like a breakfast sausage with maple.
It's probably been sitting there all day.
It didn't taste bad. The second one was a churro, and it wasn't bad either. But I was sick and my stomach hurt, so I can't tell you if it was from the food or.
I'm gonna.
Did your
mock
stomach
flu.
hurt after eating those Costco hot dogs?
Yes, because we already ate a crap ton before.
That was what we call second breakfast, my friend.
Second breakfast after second lunch.
So do you not want to do any episode? We just going to freeball this whole episode. Is that what you're saying?
Until you say I'm going to cut this and we start over and I get serious.
All right. Well, here we go. We're just going to set the notes aside and we're going to have a roundtable discussion tonight, folks.
Have you guys ever heard of the Cooper's Hill cheese rolling and wake?
And wake,
And
like
wake?
somebody,
And wake.
like somebody
Like
died and
like
it's awake.
somebody cut the cheese.
I don't know. That's like what they call it, though. But
Does the winner take the cheese home? Because them cheese wheels are expensive. We done talked about that.
Yeah,
well, it's a annual sporting event, and it's held at the Springbank Holiday at Cooper's Hill near. I don't know, someplace in England, Gloucester, I don't know what the heck it's called. But competitors chase rolling cheese wheels and down a steep hill, creating like this insane tradition that they've started. But it started in 1826. The main prize is a 7 to 9 pound wheel of cheese.
So you get like $3,000.
Yeah. So they did it last year. The most recent event was May 26, 2025. So I think we could start practicing and be ready. But it's believed to be centuries old. The race was first mentioned in 1826 and likely predates that by even 100 years. Its origins are debated, and one theory links it to maintaining grazing rights on common land, another to pagan fertility rituals involving burning brushwood to symbolize renewal. But the master of ceremonies launches the cheese from the hilltop. After a brief head start, racers hurl themselves down a 200-yard slope with gradients of about 50%. And the first person to cross the finish line wins the cheese. Several downhill races are held, usually 3 for men and 1 for women, plus uphill races for children and mixed adult divisions.
How many broken arms and legs?
Oh, it says, hang on.
It seems like running with the bulls, but down the hill after some cheese.
Yeah.
And you're just going to turn into this, like, it'll look like Pigpen from Charlie Brown. Just these Pigpen looking things just rolling down the hill, just dust flying. And
well, the cheese can reach speeds of 70 miles per hour. So it makes injuries common.
Imagine rolling
but
that
not
into your
too
car.
oh, it got your door. It totally.
severe. Yes. So
Imagine what it do to like your kneecap.
often the race's perilous descent often results in sprains, concussions, and bruises. Despite safety concerns and occasional cancellations, the event persists. So
I need this.
I think it's hilarious, and I would totally chase a wheel of cheese. I'm saying it, guys.
I'm only running from the police and a snake.
Good.
And maybe a bear.
Okay, but what would you roll down a hill for?
I'm not going to because
You
I'm
wouldn't run after like something.
no, because I'm old and fat. I know it's going to hurt, and I'm not going to make it.
To roll down a hill?
No. Like, what would you chase down a hill to win?
Marilyn Monroe.
Okay, solid answer. Yes, no hesitation.
$1 million if I'm the only one running, but if there's more than one person running, I ain't going to make it.
Okay.
All right, but have you heard of the Great Stink of 1858, Dustin?
Was it forgotten wheel of cheese? Have
Have you heard of it?
No, but it sounds like something somebody left in the backseat of their car.
So in London, there was a population explosion, and I think it was between 1800 and 1850.
The U.S. had those after 1945.
Right? So 1800, 1815. Poor London. The 2.5 million population had outgrown its sewer limits
Oh no!
or its waste disposal system.
There's
right?
one thing that you always need to make sure that you buy more than you need.
This means
Toilet paper, housing, and light bulbs. You always have more light bulbs.
and you know what that means? That all the
and
poo
plumbing pipes.
and everything else that goes down the toilet clog the river Thames
Reminds me of Louisville. If you ever go down to the
and
wharf,
smaller rivers
if you go down to the wharf in Louisville
and
you,
the city streets.
you look at the signs as you're walking, it's like, don't get in the water if it rains because all the sewage goes in the Ohio River.
So the thing about this is in the summer, the smell got so unbearable. The river levels were lower than normal, right? So,
But the shit levels were at an all-time
sewage
high.
were on the riverbanks and manure piled up on the streets. which was
How do we
absolutely
always end up on poop?
But you know what's even worse is people didn't think about the diseases that could spread at that time. So guess what happened?
What year was that?
1800 to 1850.
And that
The
was
population increase in London. So
London's already went through that once before, didn't they?
well, listen.
You would think they would learn from history.
They didn't think that diseases could spread through water, so they continued to use the dirty times for drinking and washing purposes. So during the summer of the Great Stink, chloria and typhoid spread quickly. But what made the situation worse, when it became worse, the government came up with a quick solution. They approved a bill by Benjamin Disraeli, the leader of the House of Commons in 1858, to finance a new sewer system because they could smell the foul air coming from the Thames during that summer. The bill became law in how many days?
It's cholera, by the way.
I don't know how many days.
18 days.
18.
So that's pretty fast.
Yeah, that's real fast.
Real fast.
So, yeah.
I don't think our government can pass anything in 18 days.
No, they can't even wipe their butt in 18 days. Oh, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
Hey, you know what we should do? We should help our people. Just put it at the end of the line. We'll get to it eventually.
Yeah.
Let's just tax them. That's what we'll do. We'll just tax them. We can pass that shit.
No. But first, we're giving ourselves a raise. Then we're going to tax them to pay for our rich.
Well, did you hear about
That was the unwritten rules. You pay yourself first and then tax after.
Did you hear about the 1814 London beer flood?
Well, what's going on in the 1800s? These people
I don't know,
crazy.
but London was nuts. So October 17th, 1814, in the St. Giles neighborhood of London, disaster struck. And this is going to sound like satire, but I swear it's not. The Mox Brewing Company and Brewery, a massive wooden vat holding over 135,000 gallons of porter burst. That single rupture triggered a chain reaction. Other vats started breaking. Barrels were exploding. An estimated 320,000 gallons of beer flooded the streets. The vat was 22 feet high and bound by huge iron hoops. A hoop snagged earlier that day. The workers noted it, but it was kind of a failure that wasn't considered unusual. They could patch it. So about an hour later, the vat exploded. The force destroyed part of the brewery's wall. Beer.
Famaya. Shirley, we're going to do it.
So beer surged into the surrounding slum housing, small overcrowded basement dwellings, buildings collapsed. 8 people died. And then women and children. And a coroner's inquest ruled it as an act of God. So the brewery was not held liable. In fact, they were reimbursed by the government for the loss of beer because they already paid the damn taxes. Taxes. They paid the taxes. So yeah, could you imagine like port, rushing through the streets, trapped in your basement?
So I was like, okay, I'll hop in onto this. Let me get
please
one
do.
here.
What you got?
It's got to be in the
Great
1800s.
Molasses
give us
Flood of 1919.
No,
Can't
that's
do that.
too sudden.
We did that last
we
time we were
covered that.
together.
But I got one for you.
Yeah.
How
The
about
Great Moon Hoax of 1835. Have you heard of this one?
No.
No?
Okay.
So this is where that a newspaper had people believing that life existed on the moon.
I still believe it. Mm-hmm.
So
The great cheese in the sky.
there was 6 articles on August 25th, 1835, announcing the discovery of life on the moon. And of course, readers were like, what? So they were supposedly reprinted from the Edinburgh Journal of Science under the byline of one of D.C. Andrew Grant, described as a famous astronomer at the time and a colleague of Sir John Herschel. Herschel traveled to South Africa in 1834 using a powerful new telescope, described different life forms on the moon. Some of them were unicorns. Did
Not
it have
Pegasus.
wings?
Of course, it had wings.
2-legged beavers.
I've heard of them. That's good.
And furry winged humanoids that resembled bats. So they published these and also released descriptive images of the figures and the moon's geography, which also pointed to lush vegetation. So following the release of these articles, newspaper sales, what did they do? Whoop. They went and they increased, which made it a penny press newspaper that was cheaper and provided a narrative form of journalism. The problem here was that none of it was true.
Oh no!
And that was the day the National Enquirer was born. No, but it was supposedly just a satire thing, poking fun of the speculations of people that believed that there was life on the moon.
So I'm going to maybe.
They didn't think it was satire back then because people were believing that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into this one all the way because I may revisit this
Well,
one.
then don't revisit it. Don't visit it now.
The Wisconsin Butter Fire, also known as the Butter Flood, the Great Cheese Fire, and the Great Butter Fire.
Is it 1835?
No.
You know what? I think butter on fire would just be popping like oil. Oh my gosh.
Butter's
Oh,
on
it's burnt.
fire.
Yeah. That would just be hot and popping.
You guys ever?
I get some popcorn kernel.
Oh, that sounds good.
Like the old Jiffy Pop.
Yes.
So I melted me some butter and some oil in a pan one day, and it was hot outside, so I was cooking shirtless. And I threw a
Welcome back
steak in
to
the
Cooking with
pan,
Dustin.
and that shit splattered all over my chest.
It so hurts. Well, I got one better. So my aunt was watching us over summer break, right? So
Right.
No, it might have been winter break because it was snowing. And
but-
she's like, "Well, what do you
summertime.
want to eat?" And we were like, "Well, cooking some eggs, whatever." So we're in there playing video games, and she's in there cooking. And all of a sudden, the smoke alarm starts going off. Right, so we run over to the kitchen, and there is flames. I mean,
Oh, no.
I mean, they're about 3 foot tall. Right.
Yeah.
She throws water on the grease fire.
And it just splattered
And
everywhere.
it went, caught the wall on fire.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And we were like, so we took off outside in
Flour,
barefoot,
baking soda,
yeah,
a lid.
yeah,
A lid.
in our side. So we ran
towel.
across the street and said, "Hey, can you call the fire department? It's on fire over here."
Yeah.
Why didn't you call it from the house?
Because the house is on fire.
Well, she was dealing with the fire, and I was like,
He was being helpful and getting out.
I was trying to do something. I wasn't going to die. Somebody could call.
Yeah.
So we came back over there, right? The fire truck, you hear them coming down, and we go back inside, and there is flour everywhere in the kitchen. I mean, it looked like
snow.
exploded. Yeah, it just was everywhere. And the smoke and the smell, and they had to redo the whole wall and all that. But it was ridiculous.
So one time we lived in the apartment before we bought the house. This has been years ago. I'm asleep and I hear help. The wife was frying some French fries in oil and it flared up. And I'm like, she's in the way. I'm in the apartment. I just, not thinking, just grabbed the fire extinguisher off the wall
Did you grab the right one?
and just hit it. And it put it out, but it made a god awful mess.
Oh, yeah. They're terrible.
I'm like, I'd have been better just to wait and smother it with flour or put a plate, something over it, stick it in the oven and whatever to keep it from catching the house on whatever. But I sprayed the fire extinguisher and I had to clean that off of everything.
And it
So-
takes up forever.
So I put myself through school working retail, and we had a woman bring her horrible child in constantly every week, and we were like made to entertain while she shopped. And none of us could do it one day. It was like a Saturday, and we had a line, and we're like running around getting stuff for people. And this like 4-year-old kid walks over to the fire extinguisher and pulled the fire extinguisher in the store, sprayed all the clothes and everything. And the mom just kept shopping after like we're cleaning all this up. And I was like, I don't get paid enough for this shit.
I would have got my ass.
Oh, it was bad. It was bad. Like the stuff that we had to damage out. It was bad.
Okay,
But back to mine, since we got off track.
Oh,
Sorry,
we're still talking.
sorry.
I forgot Dustin.
I forgot he was telling a story.
I thought he wasn't doing
I thought
one.
we were talking about fires.
I thought he wasn't doing one this week.
So the Great Butterfly Fire was a fire and flood of processed meat and dairy that began on May 3rd, 1991. I know it's earlier than you want, but
That's
it's too
like
good to pass
100 years earlier.
You should have said 18.
later.
Yeah.
1919, like
That's 100 years.
35 years ago almost. The fire continued for, at a large storage facility in Madison, Wisconsin. The fire continued for 8 days with no fatalities, but it caused millions of dollars in damages, and the incident is known as the biggest commercial fire in Wisconsin state history. So imagine that, just all that beef jerky and cheese and
I don't want to think about all the Wisconsin cheese bubbling.
all that
just makes me wanna eat
processed
fondue.
food just melting.
All right, you want to hear something crazy?
I got one that's even crazier.
Okay, you go first.
No, you go first. Ladies first. Dustin?
All right. That was good. All right. So September 13th, 1848 in Vermont, Phineas Gage, a 25-year-old railroad foreman was preparing an explosive charge to blast rock for a railway. I can't say these words. A rail line way. All right. His job involved pouring blasting powder into a drilled hole, adding sand, packing it down with a 3-foot iron tamping rod. The rod was about 1.25 inches thick, 3 foot by 3 foot and 7 inches long, and weighed about 13 pounds. That day, the sand step was skipped, so he accidentally missed a step. The iron rod struck the rock and sparked the powder, and the explosion launched that rod straight through his skull.
No.
Yeah. It entered through his left cheekbone, passed behind the left eye, traveled through his frontal lobe, exited out the top of his skull, and landed about 80 feet away. Witnesses said he was thrown to the ground, and then he stood up. He stood up after it went through his head.
That reminds me of that guy that got struck by lightning all those times that you did way back.
7 times.
The 7 times, yes. Okay, within minutes, he reportedly said, "Here is business enough for you." He was conscious. He could walk. And a local doctor described brain matter visible in the wound. Victorian medicine was not equipped for this, but he somehow lived. Physically, he recovered. Mentally and emotionally, something shifted. Before the accident, he was responsible, organized, reliable, and worked like a foreman. After, he was impulsive, profane, unpredictable, unable to hold steady work, which, let's face it, we all know brain injuries alter people's personalities. That's the word.
Yeah, Jackie used to be nice.
Yes, I was. Swiffer to the head took that one. Okay. All right. Friends said he was no longer Gage. This became one of the earliest documented cases of personality linked to the frontal lobe damage. So modern neuroscience still studies him. But before Gage, scientists didn't clearly understand the different parts of the brain. So that's kind of fun. And he also apparently hurt himself later on in life. But I'll save that for another story, and we'll cover this a little bit more in depth.
Okay,
Because it got worse.
We talk about a lot of crazy stuff on this podcast, right?
Oh, yeah.
This might be the craziest one we've ever covered. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
We're going way back. I mean, back to 897 AD.
Yeah, we can't verify that.
Okay.
The wildest event occurred at the Vatican. Pope Formosus, who had been dead for a few months,
Yes,
was
I have a whole
put
thing on him.
trial by
Yes.
Stephen VI.
Yeah.
He was charged with being unworthy of the pontificate, of violating canon law, of perjury, and of serving as a bishop while being a layman. The trial was conducted by, of course, Pope Stephen VI himself, acting as the judge, jury, and executioner.
We're going to decapitate a dead body already?
Oh, wait. He yelled insults at the corpse of the Pope Formosius and mocked him. And the verdict was, of course, that he was found guilty on all the charges.
What do you say to defend yourself? That's what I thought, you
Silence is not an admission of guilt, just for the record. Following that, the corpse was stripped of all papal vestments and was dressed up as a pauper.
They took his fingers, too.
Furthermore,
Yes.
Pope Stephen VI cut off 3 fingers from his right hand, which were used for blessings. He then reburied Pope Formosus.
Isn't that freaking crazy? I would love to cover like some of these like ritualistic fingers and body parts that people
You know
keep
what we've
off.
not talked about in a minute?
But for Stephen VI, Rome turned against him, and he was then deposed and imprisoned shortly after that. So this came courtesy of BuzzFeed.com.
Hopefully they cut his fingers off too.
I wouldn't have. I cut his hand off. But this was by Tanishta Koshian. I thought she did a really well job with this article. So,
You know what we've not talked about in a while?
mermaids.
A good old heist.
Oh, no.
Nutella and Kinder Chocolate Egg Heist of 2017.
I'm in on that one.
If anybody listening does a Cadbury egg heist, I want in. I will be the driver.
Man, I remember those being so good.
Yes,
I got
they
one
are.
and I was like, these are trash.
They must have changed the formula because back in the day,
It's too much caramel
caramel,
or whatever
the white icing and the yellow icing or whatever inside.
whatever's inside. It's just,
Oh, no, it's good stuff.
I guess I got a caramel Cadbury egg. Maybe that's where I messed up.
Probably.
In August of 2017, thieves in this town of Newstand, that's what we're going to call it because we're going to butcher names here, Germany stole a refrigerated truck full of up to 20 tons of Nutella and Kinder chocolate eggs.
Not a fan of the Nutella, you?
Nutella is not bad, but you get those little Kinder, the little chocolate sticks.
I have to be careful.
Those
I
are
can't have
good.
hazelnuts.
The sugary haul had an estimated worth of around $80,000, leading law enforcement in Germany to warn citizens with some sage advice you should probably always follow. Anyone offered large quantities of chocolate via unconventional channels should report it to police. You narc. Mysteriously, a separate trailer full of 30 tons of fruit juice was stolen later that same week in a town of Wittenberg, around 260 miles northeast of the missing hazelnut spread. Just imagine all that juice, which probably got turned into vodka or wine or something, and all that chocolate just poof, gone. Did you imagine $80 million worth of Nutella and Kinder chocolate eggs? I call it heaven.
I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I have to say, I'm not a big Nutella person, but like those Kinder, I have to be careful because I can't get the one with hazelnut, but they've got the one that's just like the chocolate cream.
Yeah.
That's good.
They're so
That's good.
good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So after eye surgery to restore his sight, a laborer in Alabama opened his eyes, looked at his wife, and said, "Boy, you sure have got fat in 4 years." His funeral was the preceding day.
Now she said, "I'm going to take you for all you're worth." Here I went, afraid you were going to die, blind, and I ate myself to death.
This was even funnier. A retail worker was confused when a colleague didn't understand why a customer couldn't return obviously used underwear. The colleague asked how they got rust stains, leading to realization that they were actually skid marks.
Hey, let's go shopping for some underwear. Where are you going to go?
Goodwill. Get the ones with Dippin' Dots in them.
Okay, so in the 1800s, part of New York had laws against maliciously frightening livestock, specifically cows. Why, you ask? Someone? Okay. Because startling cows causes stampede, destroyed property, ruined milk production, and caused injury. So, yeah, they were not allowed to go cow tipping.
You tip my finest milking cow, you son of a bitch.
A father in a hurry at a mall who had to use the bathroom took his 4-year-old daughter into the men's restroom with him.
Okay.
While he was in the stall, his daughter loudly asked, "Is that your pee-pee?" Can you imagine?
Oh, no.
Small security. We need security.
Yeah.
Poor kid.
I always hate that, man. Like you see this kid that's like 8 or 9 get dragged into the woman's restroom or something. You're like,
Thank God there's family bathrooms.
Yeah,
You
now.
can just lock
Yeah.
them in there and be like, go.
but back then it was none of that.
I remember going to the racetrack, and this is where I drew the line even as a kid. You go in, and there's just like a trough you piss in with water flowing. And I'm like, I am a civilized human being. I do not piss, and I do not eat from a trough. So I held it.
So a person in a cafe received a folded napkin from a stranger via a waiter. They thought it was a pickup line, but when they opened it up, it read, "You have a dill on your cheek." How do you not realize you have a pickle dill on your cheek?
Well, dill's a weed. You know what I mean? It's,
man.
You didn't say a dill pickle, but it could just been some dill.
I'm pretty sure it was a pickle.
Now you go back to, you find a good Pizza King here in Indiana, which is on the east side of the state, and they have a garlic dill butter on the breadsticks. It's so good. So good. And if you're one of these uncivilized people that live on the west part of Indiana with the Pizza King who has the Little Caesar guy and not the crown by itself, you wouldn't know that because your Pizza King sucks.
Do you ever go to the ones that have the little trains that bring your drinks?
No, because those
Yeah.
are the ones that suck.
No, that's the one I go
Those
to.
are the fun ones.
Yeah.
I like it. And I really love it when
Dustin's
you're trained derails.
Dustin's going for the food. We go for the entertainment.
You got to go.
it's fun.
If their motto ain't ring the king and have the crown, you don't want it. You don't want the little Julius Caesar character running around.
But I like that one. It's fun.
Yeah, Dustin, enjoy life.
Yeah.
Road trip. You wanted a Dark Discoveries road trip. We're going to Muncie for Pizza King
Muncie's the one, huh?
and meth. Well, it's like it's
Do you want some meth with your
accurate.
It's
pizza?
around Elwood has a good Pizza King too, the good style, but it's not as good. But like around Elwood, Anderson, it kind of splits the state, and that's where it goes.
That's
over.
where it is. Yeah. Okay.
Jackie, who has the best tenderloin in Indiana?
There's a place in Evansville that is like
What's
the
the name?
one to go. I can't remember it.
Edmondsville
but-
or Edinburgh?
Maybe it's Edinburgh. Shit,
Edinburgh's the really
Edinburgh
big one there,
Diner.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. It's like the size of 2 plates. It's
There's somebody in
amazing.
Indiana that is, I don't know, 60 some reviews in, and he didn't rank the Edinburgh Diner very good. And I thought it was one of my favorites, but everybody has their own taste buds.
Okay, you were talking earlier about hot dogs. We need to go to Peru to Mr. Weenie's.
But I don't have my passport.
I know there's
Peru,
a
Indiana.
I know there's a Weenie World in Newcastle.
No, Mr. Weenie's. It's fantastic. It has a giant hot dog, and he's like doing this fun little pose, and it said "Welcome to Weenie's," and then they sell underwear that says "I love Mr. Weenie's." I know it's the best, but like,
Jackie's getting a pair that
everything-
says, I love me some weenies.
Oh,
Is that-
like everything is super cheap and it's really good, and they do like fried mushrooms and
We need to go on a
it's so
hot
much
dog
fun.
road
Yeah.
trip. We need to hit that place. We need to go to Fort Wayne and hit Coney Island.
you
I haven't
know,
been to Coney Island in years.
but you know what?
And then
I really
Tony
don't like hot
Paco's
dogs.
Hungarian hot
could do
dogs
chili
in
dogs.
Toledo's, Ohio.
I mean, I don't really like hot dogs.
What about a cone?
I had
dog?
23 in one night, but that doesn't mean I like them. They were just there and I was bored.
so
I mean, what are you going to do? They're just out there rolling.
one of my favorites.
Yeah, at work.
Oh my god!
The guys could not believe it.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think.
But that was a good bowel movement.
I can imagine.
One of my favorite hot dogs ever is down in Georgia at the Varsity, and it is a chili slaw dog.
Yeah.
Does not sound like chili and slaw should go together, but it is so good.
Well, it's like pulled pork and slaw. I don't like slaw, period.
So if
I'm out.
you let me, one of these Tuesdays, I'll take off and I'll smoke a pork tenderloin and make sliders, and I make a slaw that's like
don't like
sugar,
slaw.
mustard, and vinegar, and it's sweet and it goes on top. It is fantastic.
Save your.
Save y'all slaw.
So this person says, I work in a library and will occasionally crop dust a section if no one is around. Who
just fun.
Who hasn't crop dusted, right? But one time I had to let out a particularly a bad bowel movement, a silent but deadly one, and turned around to find a guy from church walking towards me to ask a question.
So I guess my dad and mom were shopping with the kid one time up here, and dad farted in the aisle, and somebody turned in the aisle, and my daughter looks at him and says, "Hey, don't come here. My grandpa just farted." You know how kids are. They ain't got no.
they got no
shame.
filter.
Dude,
Yeah,
they say
it's
some of the
great.
funniest things.
They are pretty amazing. Oh goodness.
So let's ask this question. I'll put this down now. So let's have a question. What is one true crime case that you wish could be solved? What's the number one true crime case that you wish could be solved in your lifetime? The one you want to know. I don't care who goes first. Who wants to go first?
I got to think about it for a minute.
The JFK, I don't know if you really want to know that one because
Well, I'm
there's
just saying
so much,
we'll take JFK out of it because
so
that's like a
much-
historical.
There's
you
so
know.
much stuff in it, and I think if you knew everything, it would probably
Scare you?
turn you off on the government even more, because I'm pretty sure some part of the government had their hands in that.
if not multiple parts.
Yeah. One case. I would say probably the West Side Park murders in Muncie, which I'm going to cover eventually, just because it's a hometown thing, and
Local.
yeah, you always kind of heard about it, and it kind of set a bad vibe for that park.
Right. Well, I would have said, if you asked me this a year or two ago, I probably would have said the Delphi murders. but which we probably need to cover that just because it's close to
close
home.
as
It is, and there's a
Yeah.
lot too. It's kind of like that.
And there's still
Making a
appeals
Murder.
coming up, right? Which
know,
we
I-
are going to be covering Making a Murderer with Alex one of these days.
But I think it's one of those. I think they got one of the people involved, but I think they knew they could get him, and he was alive. I think the other party may not be alive, and they were just happy to get a conviction.
So, but I think the one that I always come back to, and I remember because I think we're coming up on 30 years this year, and that was John Benet Ramsey.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff that just doesn't make sense in that case, which I've talked to Dustin about. I haven't talked to Jackie yet, but think about doing a deep dive into that because there's so much stuff. And if you don't keep it out in the forefront of people's mind, then people forget about it. And then, it's the 30 year. Oh, it's 35. I can't believe it's been 30 years.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely family related, but it's just there's still people besides the parents that need closure, and that's who that need it. It's there was a case. I'm trying to think of what it was. I can't remember what podcast it was. It was just kind of listening to it, and I think it was like a brother, like it was like talking about brother and sister, and like the brother like killed their parents, and like the sister lived with it, didn't know that he killed them, and to know that like you live with them, and like, oh my God, it could have happened to me. I think just that kind of stuff's just such a mind, mental thing that just would be hard to get over.
So, have you guys ever heard of the Solder children? Okay, that is the case that I really, really wish.
What was it? 5 of them that they climbed out that ladder or whatever, and they never found.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's the unsolved mystery from Christmas Eve in 1945. There was a fire in their home in West Virginia, and 5 of the 10 children vanished without a trace.
I think we should do a whole episode on that because it's really good.
It's very fascinating, and there's like ties to the mafia, and there's like the phone lines were cut, and the family's trucks weren't starting, and then when the fire was put out, the bodies weren't there. People were saying they were seeing the kids, and to this day it's unsolved, and so they don't know if it was legit, but like the ladder was taken away, and they always had a ladder by the back window because they were working on the house, and it was like found a mile down the road in a ditch, and yeah, just the whole thing was really creepy and weird. But just a family that big, it would be devastating on a Christmas Eve.
And
But yeah,
think
that's
about-
a case that I'd like to see solved.
Yeah, it seems like that kind of case would be pretty deep, just because you're talking at a time that's probably it's
In
not great.
1945,
It's not
yeah.
Great Depression, but you're out of the Great Depression. World War II's making the economy kind of come back, but 10 kids is still
Yeah.
a lot.
5 of them
And
missing.
to have 5 disappear,
And I do believe
their bodies weren't
wasn't
found.
like one of the older girls like asleep on the couch with the youngest girl or something like that.
There was something like that. Like they weren't all in their room,
Right.
And the dad was able to get like a couple of them going, but then he tried for almost like over an hour before the fire department even arrived to get into the house, and it was like they heard something hitting the roof, and that's what woke the mom up. And it was like the fire and things hitting the roof and popping and cracking. And they were able to get some of them out. And then like the dad tried for over an hour. He was trying to start his truck, and he was like trying to drive into the house, trying to get to the kids. I mean, for over an hour, he was trying to get to his kids, and I mean, just burned the heck out of him. And then like there's reports of families seeing these kids with these strangers and all kinds of stuff and not talking. And so they believe that it's possible the kids were kidnapped prior to the fire. And yeah, it's just a really interesting case. It'd be a neat one to do a deep dive on, just because there's so much that in this day and age, maybe we could get some answers.
And I think another one, like if you could go back and watch like a moment. Okay, let's say you got the opportunity to go back and watch what happened at a certain point in history or these cases. I still go back to Lizzie Borden because I would really like to know what happened there, because a lot of stuff doesn't add up with that.
It's weird.
It is very
Yeah.
weird. And Dustin and I, we did that 10-part miniseries that's still going on. But I mean, it was just, when we did that, there's just so many more questions you have than you have answers.
how could you pick just one place to go? Obviously, you see the Titanic take off, or you watch Harry Houdini, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somebody like that, like right before he dies.
Lincoln getting killed.
You know, Lincoln, what's going on at the theater, you know, just to be, it's like watching that 11/22/63 with the book about the JFK assassination by Stephen King, and knowing that like you could try to go in and try to, you know, knowing that you can stop him, but history's going to fight back. And time is going to fight back, but you could just be a fly on the wall and just watch.
I may or may not be researching the chronovisor.
Ooh.
If you know what that is. Do you know what that is?
A little bit.
That is something that supposedly a guy created, I think it was in the 40s or 60s, but it's kept at the Vatican, and it's something that lets you go back and relive the past. Like they say they went back to when Jesus was crucified, and they actually show the pictures, you know, it's like watching a film.
Well, what's interesting about that is like certain things are blocked out when they go back too.
Right.
So there's things that you're not supposed to see.
We'll look into that too. So we're just getting started. By the way, we are coming up on 1 year anniversary of the podcast.
We've been recording for over a year, but not releasing.
I think in May it'll be 1 year, right?
Yeah, it's like mid-May. I think the 16th or something.
So
like
maybe
that.
we need to put together a birthday
An anniversary show. Yay.
They say it's your birthday.
Gonna have a good time. Sports.
Man.
You know, it's. I don't believe in that though. I don't think anybody can ever go back in time.
I
You don't
either.
think so?
I don't either.
think so.
I mean,
I don't know. I
If
believe
a
time is
DeLorean
linear.
couldn't do it, I
think
don't
that
think.
do you think there's multiple universes?
Yeah.
Is there another Dustin, Jimbo, and Jackie sitting like right here in this spot, but in another
No,
dimension?
not like that. But I do believe there's other universes where people live.
are.
You have to be pretty dense to think that this is the only place with people. We'll never see it.
Well, I mean, like even the presidents admit there's aliens and things. It's just there's so much that we just don't know, and we can't really prove. It's interesting.
But see, the thing is that they try to manipulate us with what you see. When you see certain things on TV, is it being put out there just to take your attention away from something else?
Well, let's think about it. Let's say
And saying that there's aliens, is that just either Trump trying to troll somebody? Or is that saying that and trying to get people to pay attention to that?
Well,
so it's like,
the
don't look at the man behind the curtain.
the militaries came out and said there's unidentified flying objects now, but think about it. Even some TV shows. Let's think. Let's go with the X-Files. That came out early 90s,
Yeah,
late 90s, whatever. And they were talking about aliens and UFOs back then. And guess what? Here we are 30 years later, and now they're saying that there are aliens and UFOs. So I wonder if the government or people like that just put stuff out there like that just so when it does happen, it's not a shock and everybody starts going crazy.
It's kind of like in my opinion, the people in the Bigfoot costume. Oh, we made this up, but it takes a life of its own, and people don't even. They're like, hey, no, we rented this. Here's the suit. Here's the video. We took it. We faked it. We're the ones that gave you this, so we're credible. But yet people still go looking for it. There's probably some type of animal like that.
The world is vast, and we've only explored how much of the ocean? Like 8%. So yeah, it just
Imagine an amphibious Bigfoot.
Imagine a mermaid.
Oh, I bet he's pretty.
It's just a mermaid, Dustin. with
A hairy mermaid.
with a big fin. We'll call her Big Fin, not Bigfoot.
Oh,
Big Fin.
she's so cute.
So another topic I think we'll probably cover is what's behind the Arctic Wall? What's in Antarctica? Did Hitler survive World War II and end up in South America? There's just some topips I'm just throwing out there.
There's some credibility to some of those theories.
I think, just a spoiler, I think that if it was Hitler that got out of Germany, because there was planes up like the day before that left.
Yep.
I don't think his health would have allowed him to survive it. I guarantee there was plans to take over Argentina because they were very sympathetic to the cause, and it was a new place to go, new people to rally behind you.
I would love to know where a lot of the museum artifacts and things like that are still missing. I mean, so much history is gone because the Germans took everything.
Well, what was that one room that everything was like gold plated?
Yeah,
or the bronze
amber room.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
crazy. I watched a documentary on that. That
They
is so ridiculous.
recreated it all.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
And,
amazing.
all the stuff that was in Germany that the Jewish people had or whatever, they took art, everything. You know, I mean, they plundered everything.
Right. So, Jackie, you've been to Egypt.
I have.
Do you think there are tunnels and stuff inside the pyramids?
There is. Yeah. As a matter of fact,
But I don't believe the pyramids were built for mummies. I don't think they were built for that. I think later on they added them in there, you know what I mean? But I think they were used for something else, personally.
I'll say this. I've been to a lot of ruins, and they always had a structural significance wherever they were. Chichen Itza, they built the entire pyramids around the sun and the moon because the summer and winter solstice, the sky aligns just right that the shadows will come down and it'll build a body of a serpent all the way down the pyramid. And then at the base of the pyramid is this head of this creature. And they believed that was the gods coming down to control the people twice a year is essentially what it was. And to this day, it still aligns that way. And what's even crazier is when we were there, and we're standing on top of this pyramid, because when I went, you could actually go up it, and you could clap from the top. And when you were standing down below, the acoustics and the echo back, it made this insane like bird screech. And that was how the priests and everything controlled the people. They kind of fear-mongered them into believing that the gods were there. I thoroughly believe that every pyramid is built around astrology, because everything aligns no matter where you are. And every set of ruins I've been to, they all say the same thing. Every person that I've talked to, every guide, everything, they're like, no, this was built here. You can go here. You can moon gaze this. You can do this. They had reflecting pools to study the stars and the eclipse, without damaging their eyes. So I'm a thorough believer in we were scientists and we knew more than we know. And I don't really believe that they were made for burial. I believe that there is burial use of them, but I'm with you. There is much more ceremonious purposes for pyramids.
Well, it's like the Great Sphinx, too.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And what's really fascinating is they're still uncovering so much in Egypt. When I went, they have these like lion things that were about 5 feet across from each other. And they were aisleways, essentially, from the villages. They're still uncovering them, like miles of these. And it was connecting villages everywhere. And they had no idea.
So it was like just a road then,
Exactly.
basically.
Yeah. I mean, they're still finding stuff. And gosh, I mean, I spent 2 weeks there and it wasn't long enough. It's still
the amount of sand that's buried in and the damage that's been done over the last
the weather, wind,
couple thousand years, it's hard to say, but
absolutely. But no, I mean, between Egypt and, Mexico and Belize and all these places where I've got to see these ruins, they always come around astrology. And the guides will all tell you that they were purposely put in this location to align with this, and this.
So how do you think the pyramids were built? Do you think they used vibration to move the rocks? Do you believe?
Well, what's interesting is I actually have a picture I can show you. They abandoned this one particular rock where you could see the tools that had been used to kind of like saw down into it. And it was probably about a little over 2/3 completed being cut, this giant sandstone. And it started to crack and they abandoned it and went on to the next, location to do it. And it looks like saw marks on the sides. So it's kind of almost like a giant tree saw is kind of like what we were described by our guide of how he was going down in it. And when you look at the picture, it makes total sense. Having said that, I'm not really sure because the pyramids in Egypt and the pyramids in Mexico are 100% different.
Right. Well, I like how people say, well, they were, that was early man or whatever back then. But that doesn't mean they weren't smarter than us.
Oh my gosh.
They might have had different tools that we have no clue about.
I mean, they were scientists and they had such a insight on the sun, the moon, the stars, and they revolved around them. And their acoustics were so good that they actually built bells into stages and have people performing so that as they were dancing, the bells were playing underneath them. I mean, it was incredible. The science and the music that they had figured out at that time. Yeah. I could talk about pyramids forever, and I'm going to bore everyone. So sorry.
Dustin's already asleep.
Yeah. Sorry, you're yawning.
What about Easter?
Jackie's fascinated with shit.
What about Easter Island?
Oh, Easter Island. Easter Island, I feel, is a little bit more of a kind of like Mount Rushmore deal. I feel like it was important people of the time. I don't believe it has the scientific value. Stonehenge, I believe, is almost like a giant sundial. Yeah.
Because they're, like I said, they were so obsessed with the skies and the sun and everything. It's just a way to consistently tell time.
Absolutely.
Dustin, what time is it? Just have to run out to
the
Stonehenge. You come back.
Yeah.
No. What time is it now?
It takes me 37 minutes to get there.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, you get to think too, like back in the Victorian era, how they would tell time was they would like get these candles that were a certain width and height, and they would put pins in them. And so when it would burn down, you could hear a pin drop. And that's what the thing is. It was so quiet, you could hear a pin drop. That is what that saying is from. That would resonate into the bowl that the candle was sitting in. And that was your wake up or your alarm to let you know what time it was.
Crazy.
Very crazy.
Yeah.
It was so
full of
primitive.
useless
It was
crap.
so primitive, but for the time, it was so advanced.
Oh, yeah.
Can't you see him? Sometimes I just wish I could go back to, let's just say, we'll even say Abraham Lincoln's time, and just pull out the phone and take a selfie and just be like, hey, Abe, snap. And be like,
She's a witch burner.
Could it be the new Salem?
Yeah. He'll be going vampire hunter on
I've
your
got
butt.
fire, and I will
But I mean,
burn
it's like my
you.
grandparents, they used to say, well, back in our day, right? And, gas was 19 cents and the cars cost this and house cost this. And now you're starting to see it. Like I tell my kids, well, back in my day, gas was 89 cents, and now it's like $3.50.
And like 97, 98, maybe even a little bit earlier, it was 89 cents a gallon forever.
Yeah.
And then greed took over,
Yeah.
and we started wars over oil.
Yeah, we've started wars over less. So.
And
Hey, speaking of wars,
went down.
did you know bunny rabbits saved Napoleon Dynamite from Napoleon Dynamite?
I thought Uncle Rico saved it.
Let go of my
Napoleon.
tots.
Saved Napoleon
Vote for
from
Pedro.
starting a war. They got scared and they ran through him, and he thought it was so cute and funny that he was like, screw it, and he left. So it's great.
He was probably scared because they're half a size.
Yeah, they were so cute.
There's these massive things that come running
that's
through.
the funny thing too. That was actually propaganda started by the English.
Yeah,
He was normal size, and everyone to this day is like, oh, he's just a little guy.
He's probably like 6'7". I am not.
Yeah. Oh, could you imagine how mad he'd be? Yeah, no wonder. He's got Napoleon syndrome.
It's funny, he got propaganda since
Yeah.
1492 BC.
And it
whatever.
worked. I mean, think about it. Here we are in 2026 still talking about how little he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, little fella, what you so mad for? Oh, little baby's so cute.
Well, this has been a little bit of a different style of episode. Started off with Dustin pouting, and we're ending it with Dustin pouting. So
You gotta stay tuned because this is a serious podcast
We are sometimes.
that covers serious topics from
every
time
once
to
in a
time.
while.
We covered a serious one tonight, which is why I think we just needed a little something different
And
tonight.
I didn't want to waste a good topic on
On us.
making
thanks,
fun of
Dustin.
everything.
Now, Dustin, you say you have a good topic, but Jackie's going to make fun of it somewhere along the way.
Somewhere.
So you might as
Yeah.
well
Just know that
Pegasus,
my topics
unicorns.
or what?
the cream de la creme. They're up there.
Okay, let's see. We've had heist, baby.
Let's see. I'll go to the stats.
Go to the stats, Dustin.
Buford Pusser.
Yeah, but who got that out the same day we recorded it? Stayed up all night and lost sleep.
That I pushed for it to get done. Jimmy Hoffa.
Because I didn't want you to cry. Didn't want you to cry about
Why
it.
are you only listing stuff that I'm not there for?
H.H. Holmes,
He said serious stuff.
I'm like, wait a minute, Dustin.
Hoffa Part 2,
Seriously, I'm not in any of these.
interviewing Justin Rimmel,
She wasn't part of that either, was she?
my Jack Daniels heist.
Where's Jackie fall in the line? You want to
Jack Daniels
we're
heist. That's
not-
the only one I've made it for.
skipping some? Because Mermaids is up there. I think it's like number 4 or 5, probably.
Number 3, but that's because Jimbo downloaded it, I think, 75 times.
I'm gonna get. It's gonna be number 1.
It will be. It's funny.
If Jackie has to take all of her theater friends
Oh, trust me, they already do.
and all the audience members that come, and
Hey,
we
there
put
we
a
go. That's
put a
an
playbill.
So as of right now, it has to get another 186 downloads to catch up.
Oh, that's not far.
And all I gotta do is take Buford Pusser and delete it.
Yeah, we'll be there.
He's like, no.
Because that still gets downloads. It still gets.
That's what I'm saying. If I
downloads.
stop it, Mermaids will catch up.
Yeah.
No, because Mermaids isn't at the same pace.
You're right. It's funnier.
It's
A lot
hilarious.
funnier.
Oh my God.
By the way,
Pegasus,
Dustin, are
yeah.
you still working on that episode about the guy that was the lawyer and killed his family? What was his name? Was it North Carolina, Georgia? Murdaugh?
I've not started the Murdaugh stuff, but
Okay.
that's
coming, right?
That was like South Carolina, but yeah, it's something we're going to do down the road just because it's so hot. Like I said, I don't want to just jump on trends.
Yeah.
I want to do things that make me happy, and that's on the list.
Yeah.
But sometimes more gets added to the list above it. Like I got to maybe start on a Titanic episode for this year because I want to find a way to put a twist on that I don't think many people have done, and I don't know how to do it yet.
It was fake.
No, it was definitely a real ship.
Well, I'm just saying, if you want to put a twist on it, that's a big twist.
No, just
I'd like to hear what happened to the people that survived.
Yeah, there was definitely maybe, you focus on the social classes because they were treated differently and it was different worlds and
They took priority getting on the boats.
getting on, getting off.
And you had the guys dressing like women to get on board, and all
You
that
had
stuff.
some of the richest people in the world, and what happens to
and some of them stayed on board.
the stock
Gave
market
their
when they
seat.
die, and there's just a lot of things that maybe just circumstantial because they were older and they just said, "Screw it, we've lived a life."
And
But-
there was enough room on the damn door for both of them. That's good.
well,
Yeah, Rose, scoot over.
first off, Rose is a figment of your imagination, and Jack was just your normal stowaway.
Dustin, I want you to draw me like this.
I don't have enough.
Like you
I
draw
don't have-
all your French women.
I don't have enough gray.
I love you.
I don't have 4 colors of gray to paint your hat,
My beard.
t-shirt, your
Sweatpants.
sweatshirt, your sweatpants, and your beard, all different
You
colors.
forgot my underwear.
I don't care about what your underwear looks like.
Wrong, because I'm not wearing it.
Then it really would be one of one of your French girls.
If you do come to a live show, don't. Or if you ever meet any of us in public, I'm safe. Jackie, I think, safe.
Debatable.
Do not stand behind Jimbo. He could shit on you. He could turn around and flash you his wiener. We don't know.
Funny things, both things have happened this past year, right?
Even if I shat myself, I don't think I would tell anybody.
You're the one that always makes sure to point out you have clean undies and socks in your car in the glove
That's
compartment.
because if something happens and you need to go on a road trip, you're covered.
Or if you poop your pants, right?
No, it's in the glove box. So that way, if somebody says, "Hey, come help me,"
And the police officer comes, "Sir, can I see your license registration?" Boy, what's these
What is
underoos
this?
doing?
How
in here?
strange.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle underwear.
Have you seen the little to-go shark containers?
just remember.
They're it's got an emergency pair of underwear and like an Altoid tin.
Just remember, you can wear your
Case of
t-shirt
emergency break glass.
and
Get a
your
little
pants
hammer.
more than once.
Break ass.
But you can't wear your underwear and your socks more than once.
Well, you can pick your nose and you can pick your friends. You can even pick your friend's nose if you wanted to.
But you can't pick your seat.
Well,
You can't pick your seat.
yeah, you can reach around and pick your seat.
But if you don't have any underwear on, it's going to be a shitty situation. I don't.
always come back to poop.
I learned too
Always.
much about Jimbo.
I didn't
than
bring
don't
this.
know.
I don't know what just
I
happened,
did not
guys.
bring this one back. He brought it back to it.
No,
Bring it
because
on
you
back.
said, "In my underwear, if I had them."
Well, you're the one that went there.
I love it.
But this guy looks homeless. We went to lunch. I think the person at the pizza place thought I was feeding the homeless because he is literally in 5 different shades of gray, and none of it matches.
Hey, it's better than 50.
I'm trying to get to 50. Love me like you do.
I can't say I've ever seen none of that. So
I haven't either.
But I know what
We
it
know
is.
the book. Yeah.
you know what I think about your gray is about the same thing I think about Lord of the Rings. It was shit.
Are you talking about my beard? Or are you talking about
all your gray over there is just shit. And so was Lord of the Rings because I watched a 3-hour movie.
Well, you know what my
with
gray
30 minutes of credit and
that may
nothing
be true.
happened.
That may be true about my gray stuff tonight, but I'm sure it's still better than your story you was going to bring.
Oh.
Well, this has been a little different episode. This has been Dark Discussions with the Three Amigos.
Just remember, you say that, and then my episode will eclipse your episode.
There's a power of editing. Dustin, there's no more episodes.
We don't edit, remember?
Oh, okay. I think there's an episode I have to
There's one that we
edit.
have to. Yeah.
Right?
The angry little lesbian.
Inside joke, folks.
Only people can understand what he just said.
I love all people.
Oh,
we
yes.
aren't prejudiced or judgy or anything.
No,
we're
we
judgy.
just have fun.
We're judgy, but we'll still like you. We'll just judge behind your back.
Yes.
Wow.
I agree.
We'll
So,
just judge behind
If
your
you
back.
like this freestyle of episode, please let us know.
The next dark discussion is going to be a round table. It's not going to be a free for all. We'll have a topic,
This is a round table. It's actually more oblong.
but I think Jackie is lacking some sleep. I'm lacking some sleep, and Jimbo's lacking some sleep.
I know I'm lacking
Yeah.
some sleep tonight.
So we're all just trying to stay awake here, but we're having a good time. We're going to come back next week, bigger, stronger, faster, better,
And
Grayer.
bringing friends.
and well rested. Well, it'll probably come out before this. So.
Yeah, because we got to move around some stuff. Remember, because
Oh,
they,
yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, what?
This,
Maybe.
this
Yeah.
is past us talking at this
Yeah.
point.
That's okay. Then
All right.
they need to back it up and
Well,
listen.
let us know if you like this type of discussion, or if you'd rather have a serious topic like Dustin wants this podcast to be.
But let's remember though too, you can find us on Facebook.
you can find us on
Instagram.
Spotify
You can find
Apple
us
Podcast.
and
new and improved
YouTube.
But
But we're not showing our faces yet because we don't know if you guys.
well,
are
that's just
worthy.
because the gray man can't figure it out yet. So I'm
If
working
you're
on
a YouTube expert, which I got some, send us a link.
Whoop, whoop.
a link.
Drop a link.
Or you
Or-
could just send us a message and let us know
This
what
is
we're
like-
doing wrong.
Drop us a vine.
Drop us a deuce at P.O. Box.
Tie a letter to a pigeon. Send it out the door.
I can't believe they actually sent letters by pigeon and it worked.
I wonder how long it took to train them.
I don't know, but like one pigeon flies away rogue and like all that work was gone.
Imagine a pigeon flying and just runs into a building or something.
That
would be me.
The bird would probably shit all over the letter by the time it got to you.
Depends on how high he was flying, fast he was flying,
Yeah.
right?
I don't know.
Wouldn't that suck?
If they
though?
actually did that, we need to do a research topic on that.
Yeah, I'm in. Let's do it. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Honing and carrier pigeons are a thing.
Well, Jackie, do you have a missing child you want to give us for this episode?
I don't know if we want one on this one. We don't.
No?
We don't want.
Well, we always want to find
We
our
always
kids.
wanna
So
find a
give me a
kid.
moment.
Okay.
And,
Well, where
I
did we
will-
talk about tonight?
Where
this-
didn't we talk about
That's what I'm
tonight?
saying. So
we
you could
were
probably pick
everywhere.
anywhere.
Yeah.
So
I've been to Fargo, Reno, Minnesota, Idaho, Buffalo.
all I know is we didn't start the fire.
Yes.
Dwight started the fire.
No, Ryan started
Dwight
the fire.
started the fire.
Dwight didn't start the fire. Dwight was just
Ryan started the fire.
Dwight was
It was
just
always
doing
burning.
what was it? Today everybody's going to learn about fire safety. You remember he's got the blowtorch on the handle. Oh man. So yeah, we're going to be going on YouTube Live as soon as we get it figured out. I don't.
We're
know
going to
how
show
all
you
that
what
works.
happens when you do sleep deprivation and do a podcast.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Sean Lehman, you listening? We might have to do
Yeah.
a sleep deprivation, no sleep podcast.
Okay.
Podcast-a-thon
I
2026.
do have someone tonight. Tonight, we are looking for Mr. Alan Fisher, issued out of Idaho. He is missing child case number. He doesn't have one up yet. Okay. Yeah. So he is actually a active Amber Alert. So they are traveling. He's 13, 5'9", 135 pounds, blue eyes, blonde hair. He was last seen wearing a blue shirt, blue jeans, with Rochelle Fisher, 15, his sister, 135 pounds, blue eyes, brown hair, green dress. Last seen at 7 p.m. in Montague, Idaho. And they are potentially with a group headed to Medona, Utah. How they're traveling, it is unclear. They may be with adult siblings. They've been missing since June 22nd of 2025 out of Montague, Idaho. Current age, he is 13, male, blonde hair, blue eyes, 135 pounds, last seen wearing a blue shirt and blue jeans. We will get Alan's picture up, and if you have any information regarding this, you can turn it into the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, or you can go to the 1-800-THE LOST.
I have a question. You may know, you may not know. How long is an Amber Alert active for? Because if they said that he's an active Amber Alert, is it until they find him?
I believe so, yes. Let me double check that real quick on...
Then why don't we get when they post on the interstate when it happens recently? Why don't they always have one pop up?
Right.
Because it's dead space up there, you know.
Right.
Because if it's just gonna tell you.
Well, that's a great thing to bring up.
Traffic's delayed 5 minutes,
And not only that, but like you'll be in the middle of sleep and you get that beep on your phone, right? And it's like Amber Alert.
And it seems like like the Amber Alerts are happening less and less, which is good if there's less and less being abducted.
Or is it just too many? They don't have.
Or is it just that it only pings within a certain distance of you?
Right.
So if you're in a surrounding state, it should ping.
The alert is canceled once the child is located or a law enforcement determines that the alert is no longer effective. So they can keep it active. Yes, that's great. Typically, they keep it for 24 hours is the
Well, usually they
range.
find them within 24 hours
Yes.
from what I've seen around here.
Yeah.
So, well, thanks for listening. Hope you join us again next time. But this has been Dark Discoveries.
Please come back. We love you guys.
Please, so Dustin can get his topic he wants to talk about.
I need the reassurance that you guys love me.
If you would like to support Dustin, his GoFundMe is...
I could go racing again if y'all want to fund me. I'll figure it out. I'll quit my job. You just got to pay me enough money.
So if you want to sponsor Dustin in the NASCAR ARCA series...
Well, ARCA's a shit show.
So you might have a shot.
It's leading up to the Shit Show Hall of Fame. So
So you could be a Hall of Famer.
no, I'm gonna try my hand at sprint car racing. I'd be the world's fattest sprint car driver.
The world's biggest midget.
I don't know if I can fit in a midget.
No, but we could sponsor Jackie's daughter in the
my
midget
gosh.
races, right?
For those of you that do not know, my daughter, my 5-year-old, has a go-kart and she can drift, and it is terrifying. She's amazing.
I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of awesome.
It is. It's well, the best part is she's like, look out, Mom. And she'll like drift by me. She'll stop, she'll wink, and then she'll go. And I'm like, oh, I am in so much trouble.
She probably hasn't gotten to get it out lately, has she? 'Cause it's been
Not
snowing
lately
and
with
all
the snow, but now we totally can. So,
that.
yeah.
She's going mudding now.
Oh, yeah.
The thing is, you're only young and fearless once.
Oh, I don't know. She came out running. So I was like, I
Because
think
the
we're
older
that
you
way.
get, you start taking less risks.
Yeah.
Well, this has been Dark Discoveries.
Where the deeper you dive,
The darker it gets.
I wasn't waiting all night.